Hey, HPC family, thank you for joining us for the Healing Place Church Devotional. We've been in Live Different series. It's been amazing. If you hadn't got a chance to listen to yesterday's, Terry introduced the story we're going to continue in Daniel chapter 3. But first, I want to tell you about a moment my junior year of high school. We were in class and we had a substitute teacher that day. And the bell rang, which was supposed to be the first lunch bell, but we, and by we, I do not mean me, another classmate told the substitute teacher a lie. He told her that that was our bell to go to lunch and that we would be back. Now, we had only been in class for 15 minutes at this point, and I'll never forget having this feeling of, this is exciting if he pulls this off. But then also understanding that my mom and dad taught me better and I know I need to do the right thing. But I remember sitting there and she just quickly nodded and said, all right, y'all go to lunch. We'll see y'all back in a second. So after being 15 minutes in American history, we got up to leave for lunch. And as much as I wanted to do the right thing, I found myself standing up and walking out with the class. I was so influenced by what the crowd was doing. Look at what is happening in culture and crowd in Daniel chapter 3, verse 4 through 6. I want to read it. It says, "Then a herald shouted out, 'People of all races and nations and languages, listen to the king's command. When you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither,'" I don't know what a zither is, but when you hear that sound, "harp, lyre, harp, pipes, and other musical instruments, bow to the ground to worship King Nebuchadnezzar's gold statue. Anyone who refuses to obey will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace." So here we see this announcement is made by this herald, and there is this wonderful orchestra of music and instruments and this amazing thing. There's this statue that we talked about yesterday in the devotionals of King Nebuchadnezzar, and the people, the crowd, is being asked to bow down. Now, I think about this orchestra. This had to be this beautiful moment. And I'll say this, there will always in our lives be pressure to bow to culture and what culture is saying. There will always be this pressure to bow down to something, to the idols of the culture. I think about the word bow. We see it as this huge event of getting low to the ground, and I picture like old school kings and courts and people bowing down for the king and queen, and that's what was being asked here. Bowing is a picture of submission, of saying, you're better than me, of saying your way, not mine. It is complete submission. And there will be, culture will tell us and will ask us to bow down to something. It will ask us to bow down, or there will be this consequence of a refusal to bow down. It's one of the two. Now, when I think about us today, how does that apply to us? You know, I don't find myself bowing down to things in a physical manner. So what does that mean? Well, when you think about submitting, I want to define this. Every time you or I yield ourselves to the will of something or someone else, we are submitting to it. So when I see bow, I think this huge moment. But when I see the word yield, I see it as more of a small gesture. It's a tiny adjustment. So I want to ask you today, is there anything in your life that you've been yielding to or bowing down to? Is there anything maybe culture is saying, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do what we're doing, or we're bowing down to these idols. And you find yourself just a little bit of a yield. It could be as simple as letting yourself watch something on TV that you know you shouldn't. It could be allowing something in your home that you know is not the best situation for your family. It could be, accepting something that takes you away from a body of believers and having community. Whatever it may be, there might be this small yield. And I want to challenge you today, ask yourself, what are you bowing down to? And make those adjustments, because our worship, our worship and our adoration belongs to one. It belongs to God. And so I hope that this encouraged you today. Don't stand up or bow down with culture, but yield to God, submit to God, and give him your all. Hope this was an encouragement to you. I pray that today is a wonderful day.